Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a breakdown look at the newly released images from Hasbro of the upcoming Transformers Studio Series Dark of the Moon Leader Class Optimus Prime. Now, this figure was officially announced back when Toy Fair was ongoing. I believe it was announced 2 or 3 days before. And then obviously when Toy Fair eventually commenced, we got our first look at actual in-hand images of the figure. And if you can recall, when I did my video on that particular event, I did actually say that I was extremely underwhelmed with the overall look of the Jetwing Optimus. I was extremely underwhelmed with the paint application that they had used for the guns of the figure, and that the wings looked extremely hollow. And unfortunately, these new official images do confirm some of my original thoughts. Now, don't get me wrong, I definitely think that these official images do make the figure look a lot better than what it originally did at Toy Fair. However, there are some certain aspects on this particular piece that I am not happy with, and I'll discuss them in further detail right now. And to start off, here we have the figure in the packaging. Now, if you're a collector who keeps their figures in the packaging, this is going to be a fantastic buy for you, as this is definitely a really nice looking piece, particularly when displayed in its box. As you can see, the CGI render does appear to unfortunately be inaccurate. It does seem to be a mashup of the Revenge of the Fallen Optimus CG render, just with the Jetwing pack applied onto the back. However, nonetheless, it is still a really nice CG render. Those of you who are close-eyed with these particular things will notice that this CG render doesn't have the abdomen section that the Dark of the Moon Optimus obtained, but nevertheless, it is still a really nice looking piece of art. Obviously, we've got the same window display packaging, and you can see the figure visibly really clearly. You can also pick out that he will in fact come with an Energon sword. However, I will discuss that later on in later images. And we also have a really clear image of the figure actually placed within the annular ring, of which the trailer will transform into. If you recall, in the Dark of the Moon movie, Optimus's trailer expanded and converted into this very circular-like weapons pack, which housed the Jetwing, the cannons, the sword, the shield, and all of the other various weapons that this particular Optimus utilized in the movie. I do really like how they've packaged this. You get a great view of the trailer transformed into the annular ring. We can also see the Jetwing in the background as well as the figure himself, and I must say that the figure does look really cool. Unfortunately, the abdomen section is unpainted, much like we saw at Toy Fair. They haven't applied any darker paint application to the center of the chest to make the abs more defined, but if you're a customizer, I definitely think that this will be an extremely easy fix. And although unclear, it does appear that this figure will in fact come with a different backdrop. Just looking at this backdrop, to me it looks as if though it could potentially be a screen grab from when Optimus takes down the Driller, so I think that would be an extremely cool looking backdrop to display with this particular piece, considering that this was really where we saw the Jetwing Optimus shine. Now, taking a look at the figure out of the packaging, this is exactly the same setup that we saw when the figure was in the box, and it does give us a greater look at the figure and the accessories in closer detail. Now, as you can see, the figure actually looks really well done. I really do like the paint applications that they've applied to it. It does seem really similar to that of the SS32 that we recently got. However, taking a look at the Jetwing pack and the trailer itself, I can't help but notice the lack of paint applications. Considering the Optimus figure itself is only a Voyager, it would have been fantastic if Hasbro could have perhaps spent some more budget giving this more paint, as the trailer in the movie was extremely vibrant and was this kind of chrome-like metallic color, so it is a shame to see it in this more drab grey. Taking a look at his accessories, once again, these two are all unpainted. The only one that has got some color into it is, of course, the blade. It does have the orange translucent, which makes it appear more visually interesting. However, looking at the cannons that the actual Jetwing Optimus will come with, these are extremely underwhelming. Now, the sculpting and detailing looks absolutely fantastic, and to tell the truth, the sculpting and detailing for all of the accessories looks great, but it is such a shame to see that there is no dry brushing whatsoever on these particular pieces. There's not even an attempt to bring out some of the sharper details in the sculpt, so I will no doubt be definitely applying some extra paint application when I pick this particular figure up, as those cannons are just begging to have the sharper details of the sculpt amplified by some additional paint apps. Now, the next image is the last image I'll be taking a look at of the figure in its robot mode, and the only reason why I actually wanted to showcase this particular image is that it actually gives us a size comparison between the Optimus figure itself and the trailer when it's fully transformed. Now, personally, I do think the trailer is slightly on the small side. In the movie, it was this big gigantic trailer, and even in the vehicle mode, which I'll get on into in a minute, it should be a lot longer. I know that this is confined to Hasbro's budget and that they can only spend a certain amount of plastic on a particular figure, but I really do wish they could have made the trailer just slightly longer. I can definitely see a third-party company coming out with like a middle section that you could split the trailer off to extend it to make it longer. So it would have been great to have seen Hasbro beat these third-party companies at their own game and make the trailer the size that it should actually be in the movie. But nevertheless, I am extremely pleased that we have finally got an official Hasbro annular trailer, and that it is accurate to the movie in the sense that it transforms into his weapon pack, much like we saw in the Dark of the Moon movie. And so finally, this takes me on to the last image that I'll be taking a look at in this particular video, and that is the Optimus Prime transformed into his truck with his trailer like we saw in the film. Now personally, like I said earlier on, I do really wish that Hasbro would have applied more paint application to the trailer itself, as it was so vibrant and really visually appealing in real life. Now this particular trailer does look fairly accurate to what we see in the movie, however I can't help but notice these awful looking like T-shapes in the sculpt. This is obviously when the trailer breaks up into the circular ring, so I can kind of excuse them for that, but it does look fairly unsightly, and I do probably imagine that there was a way they could have gone about it without making the design look very obtrusive. Nevertheless, it does look like a nice looking trailer, and it will definitely look a lot better with additional paint applied to it. Moving on to the truck itself, unlike all the previous versions of Optimus, this will actually have the accurate orange fade that we see Optimus have throughout the first trilogy of the live action movies. So this is definitely a great attention to detail. Personally, I'm not a massive fan that they've painted the windows silver. I did prefer them when they were translucent plastic. The silver paint to me just looks slightly cheap. I can kind of understand what they were going for, but I just think it looks really unrealistic, and I don't think it does the figure any benefit. Unfortunately, we still have the small smokestacks. It would have been great if they could have engineered this to have the longer, more accurate smokestacks, as this is the third time we've got a Voyager Optimus in the Studio series that has the inaccurate smokestacks. Nevertheless, it is a nice representation of what we see in the movie, and I'll definitely be extremely excited to see what it is like when in hand. So there you have it. Those are my first initial thoughts and feelings on the official images of the upcoming Transformers Studio series Dark of the Moon Leader Class Optimus Prime. Now despite my gripes with this figure, I do definitely think that it is a great entry into the Studio series toy line. The Dark of the Moon version of Optimus is definitely by far my favourite design, as I really do like the abdomen section. I also love the fact that Optimus had the trailer, and in the movie it was fantastic to see it transform into this Jetwing pack, as well as a kind of armory for Optimus to use throughout the movie. I like the additional accessories that it comes with, such as the battle axe to take Megatron's head off, or the shield, or the cannon, or even this sword. They have seemed to have remolded the sword so that it can be plugged into Optimus's hand, so that he can wield it like an actual sword rather than a blade that juts out of his hand. And the vehicle mode does look really nice as well. I just do wish that they applied more paint to the trailer. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please let me know down in the comment section below. I will definitely be picking this up and doing a review on it, so definitely stay tuned for that review. And until my next video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.